Hey, I'm Randy Hunter, and before we get started, I would like to mention that I would truly appreciate it if you visit my websites, beginningsax.com and randyhunterjazz.vhx.tv for information on all of my beginning sax and jazz improvisation lessons. So the lick we'll be checking out today is from an Illinois Jacquet tune called The Blues That's Me. Now, I wanted to make sure that I was pronouncing Illinois' name correctly, and in fact, his real name is Jean Baptiste, and I've got a French student that helped me make sure I had that correct. But the nickname is Illinois, and Jacquet. I wanted to really be sure I had that correct because there are a couple of ways that can be pronounced, I think, even in with a French accent. Maybe I'm wrong, but anyway, I used to always call it jacket, and I know some people say Jacquet. But so what I did is I went on YouTube and I made sure to find an interview with Illinois Jacquet where he pronounced his own name, and that's the way he pronounced it. So I'm pronouncing it the way I heard him pronounce it, hopefully, maybe with a little bit of Georgia accent in there. So anyway, I've always been an Illinois Jacquet fan ever since back in my college days. I remember I had a great roommate when I was in college who was actually an artist in residence at the school I was at, and it was Duffy Jackson, who had been the drummer for Count Basie and for Lionel Hampton and for just, Sonny Stitt, tons of great jazz musicians. And so about a year afterwards, and I got to know Duffy's playing very well. About a year afterwards, I was listening to the jazz station, the radio station. Back then we had jazz radio stations on the air. You didn't have to go to satellite or anything to listen to jazz. But I heard Duffy playing. I knew it was Duffy, and I can't even remember the tune right now. But I knew it was Duffy because it was just really swinging with a groove like only Duffy could play with. And so I made sure to listen through and find out who it was. And he was playing with Illinois Jacquet, who at the time that was a new album, so I made sure to go out and get that album. Back then we had albums, so I made sure to go out and get the album, and I started studying a little bit about Illinois, and I really grew to love his playing. He played with he took Lester Young's place in the Basie Band, and probably the most famous solo that he's known for is with Lionel Hampton on a tune called Flyin Home. So I'd say you've definitely got to be sure to check out Illinois Jacquet's solo on Flyin Home with Lionel Hampton. Now, another recording that you might really enjoy that's from more of a popular tune, and I've had a number of students lately that have transcribed this melody and really worked at learning to play it in the style that Illinois played it in, and that's Harlem Nocturne. And between those two, you really get a sense of how he can play both raucous and burly and also sensitively and decently, believe it or not. He's a very flexible and versatile player, and like this tune, like the name of this tune, The Blues That's Me, he's absolutely a master of the blues, and he's another one of our Texas Tenor players, so he's out of the Lester Young school, and some of the other guys that we've Buddy Tate, some of the other guys that we've covered from the Texas Tenor group of sax players. So anyway, our lick is at 6 minutes and 7 seconds into the tune, The Blues That's Me. So be sure to locate that on YouTube. And it's a C blues on tenor sax. So, and it's a very big blues lick. So make sure to have the C blues in your mind. It takes it right at the top of the chorus, or actually pickups into the top of the chorus. And it uses a lot of the things that we found in these other players. It starts out with kind of almost a pentatonic lick with a minor third sliding into the third. So we've got the root, and then the minor third sliding into the third, right up the pentatonic scale, aiming for the high C. Now he hits that high C and makes it short. we find the short notes in a lot of the blues players, and then he goes to that big high C, and he just puts lots of vibrato on that high C. And then he goes up to this. We're up to the 4 chord at this point. So we've got the E flat is the 7 on the 4 chord. It's the minor 3 of the key. He goes to that E flat and just puts a huge bend on it. And all of this stuff has a big growl on it. Illinois like to use growl a lot of times. So he's got a big growl on all this. Now in the bend, there's no vibrato. One thing I like to make note of is that a lot of times you'll either use a bend or vibrato, because what happens with both of those techniques is they keep the music moving forward. Vibrato keeps the music moving forward on a long tone. A bend keeps the music moving forward on a long tone. So we may not necessarily, and I'm not going to say that you would never use a bend and vibrato at the same time, but very often it's one or the other. I think one or the other makes a good choice. And so here Illinois' got that high C that he's doing the vibrato on. He's got that high E flat that he's scooping way into. Just a scoop runs almost the entire note. And then he comes down a very bluesy line. And I know I've got a rhythm written out, but really it's not so much what's written as it is a gradual speed up through the time, and it's that blues time that we talk about with a lot of these great players. It's not absolutely 1 and 2 and kind of time as much as it is here to there. So follow from here to there. Your arrival is the important thing, making sure you're arriving in time, and, listen to Illinois and play along with him. And then he goes to the root of the key. Wow. So he's got a little bend. He plays the root twice. He's got a little bend in there and then a fall. And then that's not enough. He's got to play that root again and fall from it. He's kind of moaning, woo. So he's got some woo in there. And then that's still not enough, so he's gonna cap the whole thing off with a G A B flat, 5/6 to the flat 7. And I had to keep myself from doing a big, because he's really not doing that. He's kind of, you hear a little bit of a fall off of that note, but really the more important thing is you hear the push into it and the moan. He really makes the instrument moan as he goes through it. So a lot of throatiness, and again, the growl is all in there, the flexibility of the sound. So this one will be a great one for an addition to your motif collection. All right, check it out one more time. So I hope you dig that motif and the other ones in this collection, and I also hope you'll take an opportunity to visit my websites, beginningsax.com and randyhunterjazz.vhx.tv. I've got just tons of lessons available at randyhunterjazz.vhx.tv. You can subscribe to my complete series at beginningsax.com. You can purchase individual lessons. So I hope you'll visit those sites and drop me a note.